When political correctness becomes deadly, study finds women are less likely to be given CPR than men in public places, and it may be because it's seen as creepy. That's exactly right. Yeah, guys now they're like, oh no, I don't want to be accused of like, trying to get one over on her while she's unconscious. Oh, I don't want her coming back and suing me 5 years from now when she hits a tough spot in her life and wants some free money. This is what happens. Guys keep getting demonized, laughed at, shit on, called creepy. Now they're like, oh man, that woman needs help. Well, I don't want to come off as creepy, so someone else will help. Now, women are less likely to be given life-saving CPR than men, a study of tens of thousands of cases suggests. Now, I would like to know, are they going to do a breakdown as to the people giving the CPR? Is it primarily men in both cases? Because that says a lot, actually. Dudes would rather lock lips with another dude than do it with these women's. That's how bad the situation is. Now, researchers in Canada found that some 61% of women compared to 68% of men received CPR when they suffered a cardiac arrest in public. Doctors speculate this could be due to political correctness and bystander fears that a man giving a woman CPR might seem inappropriate. All right, so if you're a man and you see a woman in cardiac arrest, all you need to do is say, hey, one of you women, why don't you help her? And why are you standing around waiting for someone else to help? You help. Now, this could put women at greater risk of death from cardiac arrest than men. Yeah, look, now they're literally going full women most affected. Yeah, women chase away men. Women are horrible to men to the point where men aren't willing to risk saving their lives. Women most affected. They really played themselves here, didn't they? Oh, that's right. Just say no homo. Yeah, that's right. If you're giving a guy CPR, as long as you say no homo, you'll be fine. More than 356,000 people have had an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest in the U.S. every year, and 60 to 80% die before reaching the hospital. Dr. Alexis Cournoyer, a joint study author and emergency medicine physician at Montreal Heart Institute, a research center, said in an emergency when someone is unconscious and not breathing properly, in addition to calling an ambulance, bystanders should give CPR. Do they have protections from, like, what if they apply the CPR wrong and end up causing some damage? Are they going to be sued for it? I don't think it's worth the risk. Unless there's basic protections, this would give the patient a much better chance of survival and recovery. Well, I guess go out in groups. Now, the doctors used records of cardiac arrest outside the hospital in Canada and the U.S. between, quite a while, actually. Current year minus 18 and current year minus 8, including 39,391 patients, the average age of 67. They looked at whether or not a bystander performed CPR, where the emergency took place, plus the age and gender of the patient. Only around half of patients, 54%, received CPR from a bystander. Overall, women were slightly less likely to have CPR performed on them than men. When the researchers looked at cardiac arrest that happened in public, such as on the street, the difference was greater, 61% for women compared to 68% of men. The lower rates were found in women regardless of their age. Now, Dr. Cournoyer says our study shows that women experiencing a cardiac arrest are less likely to get CPR they need compared to men, especially if the emergency happens in public. We don't know why this is the case. Oh, you mean you don't understand why a guy may not be jumping to get in there? Now, yeah, I know this is probably going to get me labeled as creepy. And someone might falsely accuse me of trying to cop a feel or something on an unconscious woman. But yeah, sure. I'll jump in there. Why not? It could be that people are worried about hurting or touching women's, or thinking women's is less likely to be having a cardiac arrest. Oh, it's definitely not that. No, we're talking like men up until fairly recently, they would be much more likely to actually want to help a woman than another man. But women chased men away. That's right. Can't confirm consent. Yeah, I'm not going to touch her chest area if she didn't give me consent. Yeah, I'm not about to open up that Pandora's box. Now, Dr. Stuart Fisher, international medicine physician in New York, also that, oh my God, the writing, I guess should be also said that there may be a sociological component of reluctance to give women CPR in public. He told Daily Mail men might be reluctant to do CPR on whammies because they may fear legal or emotional consequences from it. Yeah, and they got precedent for it. They should be scared. A man getting down on his knees on a sidewalk with a woman who has a major emergency. Many men may be necessarily uncomfortable doing that. It's not a social occasion, it's a medical emergency. Okay. As long as you become immune to whatever, like to any criminal or civil charges they'd want to file at you, I'm sure a lot more guys would be willing to risk it then. And then if instead she destroys your reputation in social media, she gets arrested. To another passerby, watching a man give CPR to a whammons from afar could seem inappropriate, whereas if it's the opposite, it's highly appropriate. You see this? I don't know if he meant a whammons doing it to a man or two dudes doing it, but either way, it's obvious what they're trying to push. Political correctness has to be left far behind when it comes to saving someone's life, he added. Okay, give them legal protections from it then. Make sure that this guy's life can't possibly be ruined by this decision. Give him some freaking protections then, and the problem is solved. Another study conducted in current year -4 asked patients, do you have any ideas on why whammons may be less likely to receive CPR than men when they collapse in public? The main theme they found among answers was the sexualization of whammons' bodies. Oh, you mean the stuff we aren't allowed to do anymore unless they're fat and ugly and they do it to themselves? Other reasons cited include that whammons are more weak and frail because they're prone to injury, which a bystander may be worried about causing. Yeah, like breaking ribs during CPR. The researchers concluded members of the general public perceive fears about inappropriate touching, accusations of sexual assault, and fear of causing injury as inhibiting bystander CPR for women. Oh, no. This another easy solution. Just do what I said earlier. All you got to do, like if it's in a public place and a woman collapses and everyone is just standing around waiting for someone else to help, if you're not going to do it yourself, you could at least take control of the situation. Yeah, you step up, point to the nearest woman, say, you give her CPR. Because, if I did it, I could hurt her. Use that excuse. Yeah, if I did it, I might hurt her. So you give her CPR. Put someone on the spot. Because then they'd be a lot less likely to shy away from it, because then everyone else will think they're an asshole. Now, CPR, known medically as cardiopulmonary resuscitation, should be performed when a person is unconscious and not breathing or not breathing properly, even if their heart is still beating. This is called respiratory arrest and will quickly become cardiac arrest without CPR. If a person is unconscious but breathing normally, they should be put in the recovery position. And make sure they don't choke on their own puke either. This involves pressing hard and fast on the center of someone's chest with the heel of your hand. Experts estimate patients are most likely to survive when CPR is performed within 30 minutes of cardiac arrest. That's quite the window, actually. In addition, the American Heart Association guidelines state that all clothing should be removed from the chest before performing CPR. You're starting to see where some of these problems come in. Like, as a guy, you're like, wait, do you expect me to take this unconscious woman's shirt off in the street? Sure. That's not going to blow up in my face or anything. Now, cardiac arrest is a medical emergency that occurs when the heart suddenly stops beating and denies the rest of the body oxygen-rich blood, shutting off the supply to the brain and causing someone to lose consciousness. When blood stops flowing to the brain, the lungs, and other vital organs, their function is greatly diminished. You think they kind of need it, and key body processes need to keep a person alive or halted. Brain cells can die within minutes of being deprived of oxygen. Most cardiac arrests occur when a diseased heart's electrical system malfunctions, cause about 450,000 deaths per year in the U.S. Cardiac arrests differ from heart attacks, which occur when blood supply to the heart muscle is cut off due to a clot in one of the coronary arteries. Common causes of cardiac arrest include heart attacks. Yeah, they're not the same, but you could have them both at once. Heart disease and heart muscle inflammation. Drug overdoses and large loss of blood can also be the cause. Yeah, if you're dealing with someone that has either of those issues, you doing CPR is probably not going to be all that helpful. A defibrillator, a device that delivers electric shocks to the chest wall, can be used to start the heart again. The shock allows the cells in the heart to recharge, which establishes the heart's rhythm. If the defibrillator is not immediately available, CPR can keep oxygen continue to circulate. Okay, probably can help oxygen. Studies findings were presented to the European Emergency Medicine Congress on Monday. All right. Well, we already know what the problem is. It's really simple. Just give guys. Make sure the Good Samaritan laws cover situations like this. Like, if a guy were to resuscitate a woman, and anything bad happens to him as a result, then like she'd be on the hook for it, or the government would, or something. I mean, the government, that means all of us, but